my name is Nata. I'm part of the customer success team at Pointerpro. And today I'll be telling you more about our distribution portal, how you can use it for your use case. And I also mentioned that I prepared a lot of slides, very practical for you, how you can set it up in Pointerpro and how it will look for you as an admin, but also how it can potentially look for your end users. Without any further ado, we're just going to move to the agenda today. So we will be talking mainly about the distribution portal. That's the biggest topic for today. And as I mentioned, I will really walk you step by step on how you can set it up within Pointerpro and what's the flow and what are the things that you can configure as an admin. We will briefly talk about some use cases and how you can use it for your business. And in the end, in case you have any questions, you will also have a possibility to ask them. You can just post them in the chat. It's nice also that we have here a mix of audience. Some of customers already use Distribution Portal, so they're quite familiar with the solution, but we also have some new names joining as well. So for those that do not know what the Distribution Portal is, I'm going to give a quick introduction. So Distribution Portal, it's the extra add-on within Pointerpro. It also sits within its separate license, and that allows you to structure and organize the way you can distribute and share your assessments. So you can see on this slide, before the Distribution Portal, you maybe needed several different ways to collect your data, to create an output via Excel, send it to customers, prepare PDF, and it's all over the place. And it also requires quite a lot of manual work from you. And we don't want that. We want to simplify your life. So in order to do that, we introduced Distribution Portal, where on this site you see you are as the admin. So you still have access to your Pointerpro account. You have possibility to set up everything, questionnaires, PDFs. However, now you have extra layers that are added for you to be used to distribute your assessments. And in this case, it's your customers, your coaches, for example, who can distribute it for you. And you give them access to a platform, which is not Pointerpro directly. It's a different platform that lives separately, where they can log in, they can see the questionnaires that you give them access to, their PDFs, all the reports, and it's very nicely packaged solution that you can easily sell and generate extra revenue for your business. Moving forward, yeah, that's a sneak peek of how it can potentially look like when you set it up. So you really see that it looks very different from the familiar Pointerpro platform that you use. So you have different questionnaires, welcome messages, and we will now dive into how you can configure all of these things within Pointerpro. So it's basically a hub, a one-stop shop for your customers to share the questionnaires and immediately get the results without you interfering. So it becomes really an independent product that you can sell to your customers. So about the admin side, I want to talk with you about three main things of what you would need to configure or what you can potentially configure in Pointerpro as admin, and share it with your customers and how it will look for them. So we will focus on three main things. First one is have your questionnaire and your report ready. So that's quite familiar part for most of you. Then how you can configure your distribution portal. And then the last step, how you can invite your customers and what they will potentially see within the platform. If you have any questions, you can already post them in the chat, and I'll make sure to answer to those during the Q&A session. Okay, moving forward. Step one, have your questionnaire and the reports ready. So for this one, it's quite familiar for you already. You don't need to do anything very specific here. You would set up your questionnaire and your reports the same way you would do with a reporter plan. And there are a couple of extra things that you can configure, but the main thing for this step, it's as is. So if you already have some questionnaires or PDF reports, then you also don't need to add much more configuration on this step. One of the things that you can do is add extra description to your questionnaire. So of course you will have your questionnaire title, and that's something that you use every day. However, when you share your questionnaire within the distribution portal, you might want to add a little bit more explanation to your customers what this questionnaire will be about. So that's something you can add in the questionnaire builder. Under the question title, there is extra field that's called questionnaire description. And that's how it potentially looks for the end user. So when they log into their distribution portal and they check their questionnaires, there is my beautiful example that I prepared for today's webinar and the description that tells them a little bit more about this questionnaire. So of course, if you have several that you share with the customers, they will be lined one under another with their title and their description. Moving forwards. As you know, in Pointerpro, you can also customize everything about your questionnaire, about names, a lot of variables that you can add. And as an admin for the distribution portal, you can also decide which variables should or should not be available for your end users. So it's another pro tip that we have here. It's an extra setting that you can enable for your customers to see or not see certain variables. From our side, we always suggest you enabling clickable link with unique ID, meaning that when people receive a link to take their questionnaire, they would always have a unique link associated with it, meaning that it will be always linked to them as a contact and you can easily find back their response. Moving forward to step 2 now, it's the most interesting part, how you can configure your distribution portal. It's worth mentioning that in this presentation, I also try to include some useful help guides. So if you go to Pointerpro help page, you'll also be able to search for distribution portal and find some relevant information there. So we start from the beginning. When you want to invite someone, you want to notify them in a way and send them an invitation email. Good news is that in Pointerpro, when you configure distribution portal, you as an admin can fully customize the invitation email that people will receive. For that, you would head under My Team and you would click View User Invitation. And then there'll be extra orange button that says Add Invitation. And we're gonna click that one. So, and then you see very straightforward view of adding your email templates, how it should be called internally, what will be the subject email that people will receive, and then the text of your invitation. Here we again suggest you to use variables to make it extra personal. So for example, you can add user's first name and then one extra variable that you would need to include into your invitation email is activation link. So by clicking on this link, they'll get access to their distribution portal environment and they'll be able to set up their password. That's how I set it up on my admin side. Let's now see how it will potentially look for my end user once I invited them. That's kind of the email that will be received. So I invited myself to the distribution portal. So I receive an email from myself to myself that says, Dear Natalia, here is the invitation. Please click on this link and you can log in here. So you can completely customize the way this looks and feels. If you want to add extra touch to it, maybe you can also include HTML version to add some visual representation to your email. right? The next thing is actually setting up things in the distribution as a portal. And to do that, you would go under the distribution parts and you go under the portal settings. And now I'm going to walk you through which settings you can add there. So the first one you will see it's something called team description that basically allows you to add welcome messages to people that log into the portal. And there are two messages that you can add there. Short description, that's something that will be visible on the immediate login. It's like, hey, Nata, and then some short description. And then once you click on that short description, you will be able to see a long description where you can add more extra information. And as you see here, for example, I also added an image. So that's how it potentially looks for your customer in the distribution portal. So when they log in, this is the short description they will see below greetings. And then when you click on this message, the long description will be opened. And that's exactly where I added my image. You can completely customize how you want to greet them or which information you want to include there. Moving forward, talking about the help guides. So you can, of course, also add your own help guide for customers in case you want to guide them through the platform. So how they can send out campaign, how they can add contacts or any other information that you want to add for your end users to be available in the distribution portal. So that will be the next setting within the portal settings. And you see here again, I added like a link to the help guide and some image of my welcome page. If you are not sure where to start, we also have built-in help guide page with some guidance that you can just copy and paste and reuse for the inspiration. So you don't need to start from scratch. Again, for the customer, this help guide will be available under this eye icon. And once they click on that icon, the beautiful help guide information that you set up in portal settings will pop up. Yeah. That's indeed my pro tip. If you don't know where to start, you can just reuse our article here that has beautiful screenshots and step-by-step explanation about everything in the distribution portal. So you can absolutely reuse that for your help guides internally. And pro tip number 2, it is also possible to set up multiple help guides in case you want them to be different from customer to customer. Let's say I have one customer in Belgium and I want to add for them my help guide in Dutch to make it very custom. But then I have another customer in Spain and I, of course, want to add my Spanish help guide. That is also possible for you to set up and assign for each customer. In order to do that, we would move from portal settings to help guides. And it will be exactly the same flow there where you can add the title for your help guides and actual information. Later on, when you're configuring your account, you can decide which of the help guides that customer will see. Should it be the standard one, so the one that you set up via portal settings, or it should be any of the custom help guides, and then you can select it from the drop-down which help guide you want them to see. An important part as well is the last one from the portal settings is domain verification. So whenever your customers will be sending out emails, you of course want them to send it from your email address, not the generic Pointerpro one. So it's also quite an important white labeling step for you to do. So make sure to configure this one. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to our support team and they'll be very happy to assist you with setting this up. Okay. Next step of white labeling as well, now that we're talking about it, is the visual representation of your distribution portal. Now you see it has standard little logo over here and standard colors. You as an admin, of course, can change that. And you can configure your whole editor white labeling. So the editor of Pointerpro, where you log in to create your questionnaires and the reports. And that logo and those colors will then be reused for your distribution portal. So you can also make it very personal for your customers when they log in and use your own representation instead of this purple logo. We are now half through the slides. How does it feel, guys? I'm going to have a little sip of water, but if you have already some questions, feel free to share them. Let's move forward. The fun part, actually inviting your people to the distribution portal. So once you configured everything and you are happy with how it looks, you can start inviting your customers. For that, you would go to My Team tab and click the big orange button that says Add Team Member. You will see then the modal window popping up, and you will be able to configure who are the people you want to invite. So who are your coaches, or who are the people that will be distributing your assessment for you, and thus they need to have a distribution portal account. So here, of course, I have a possibility to add their email address, their first name, last name. It's important that you set up a role customer for them, because that's the role that gives them access to the distribution portal. Here you have a toggle to immediately send out to them the invitation email. Remember the very first one we set up with you, where we invite them and we want them to activate their distribution portal account. If you want, you can also have multiple activation emails in multiple languages, for example. So if you have one in Spanish, one in English, one in Dutch, then you will also be able to select which invitation email you want to send to your customers via the drop-down here. And you will click Save and Close. Then the person will receive that activation email that we already saw with you, but you as an admin will be able to see where they are with activating their account. So for example, here, I just sent this invitation to a customer and I see they did not activate their account yet. So you as an admin see, oh, this user has not activated their account yet. And if needed, you can copy the invitation link and send it to them afterwards, or you can resend an invitation in case they lost it somewhere or it didn't reach them. So once they activate their email invitation and they access their distribution portal, their user status will be also updated that they were successfully logged in. Moving forwards. How you can actually give access to things for your customers. Once you created your questionnaires and PDF reports, it's again under My Team and under Account Settings, you will be able to see all the different questionnaires that you have created, and then you can give them access one by one. So in this case, I have my beautiful 360 assessment for the webinar that I prepared, and I want to give access to my customer to share this questionnaire. So I give them share only access. And the beautiful thing is you can also limit number of invitations they can send out. So if you want to share access to distribution portal with packages, let's say 100 invitations, that would be this price. 500 will be another tier. So you can even create a tier-based pricing for reselling access to your questionnaires. And then you, as an admin, can set up maximum contact invitations over here. So I assigned 5. You can do based on different tier system that you will come up with. For my example, in my questionnaire, I had 2 different PDF reports that I have created. And for my customer, I want to give access to both. So that's why I also put that on view for my customer. How it will look for them in the end is, so here we gave access to this 360 assessment AR webinar. When my customer logged into the distribution portal and had under questionnaires, they're able to see this questionnaire with this nice description that we have here, and they can immediately see how many invites they have used. So we assigned 5 invites for them, and they haven't used any yet. So that's why they see 0 out of 5. It's also a nice way for them to track their progress and see which questionnaires they still can push and invite more people, or which questionnaires they might need to come for an upgrade to you. Once the questionnaire is shared with your customer, it's time for them to get busy and start sharing it with their network. And they can share things with customers by creating campaigns. So it's also very inviting user experience in the distribution portal when there is no way for you to miss where to click. It's immediately says here, create campaign, or when you start from fresh and you don't have any campaigns previously, you will also see the add campaign button. When your customers click either of those, they will end up with this flow to configure their campaign and send it out to their contacts. So there are 5 steps that they can go through to set up the title and select the questionnaire in case you share multiple questionnaires with them, select the recipients or upload their contacts, set up the invitation email, schedule it, and add reminders if it's needed. Beautiful things is you as an admin can also decide which flow will the customer follow when they create a campaign, and you as an admin can make their life easier. For that, we have something that's called pre-configured campaigns. And this functionality basically does what it's called. It allows you as an admin to partially or fully pre-configure campaigns for your customers. It is going to be available under Distribution tab, pre-configured campaigns. And when you open it, it will mimic the flow, all the 5 steps that we just watched with you here, but in more detail, so you as an admin can pre-configure them. You will see that next to each field, you have like a little lock that you can click on. And that means that that field will be locked for your customers and they will not be able to change it. So if there are certain fields you want to pre-fill for them and only use that, you can create a pre-configured campaign and lock those fields for your customers. If you want to go a step further, you can also enable quick campaign. Basically, quick campaign allows you as an admin pre-configure everything for your customers. And the only 2 fields they will be able to change is campaign title, so how campaign will be called on their view, and add contacts. So when you're creating pre-configured campaign and enabling quick campaign, your end users, your customers, will basically be able to send out their campaign in just a few clicks because they're absolutely skipping all the steps that you already predefined for them. To give you a little example how it looks, first we need to give access for that functionality, of course. Once you created your pre-configured or quick campaigns, you can give access to those as an admin. So you would again go to My Team, you select a customer who should have access to these things. You would go to authorization for pre-configured campaigns. You see which one you want to enable for them. So I enabled these 2 and I put it on shown. After that, the changes are saved and those people will immediately see those pre-configured campaigns in their account. So how it will look for them if you have pre-configured and quick campaign enabled for your customer. Now, when they click create campaign, they will be shown a choice. Do you want to start the campaign from scratch? You as an admin can remove this option Absolutely. If you don't want them to start from scratch, if you only want them to do pre-configured campaigns that you created for them, that is also possible to configure on the account. But I'm interested in pre-configured campaigns that I've created. So when I click on, oh, I want to select a pre-configured campaign, I will have an offer with those two that were shared with me as an end user. So pre-configured campaign or a quick campaign. What's the difference? As I mentioned, pre-configured campaign gives you still more options for your customer to set up certain fields. So they would still see the flow with 5 steps. However, for the parts that you pre-configured and pre-filled for them, they will already see like a little check mark that's like, okay, this step is already done. They can still go and make changes. Otherwise, if they're happy with the content that you already added for them, they're absolutely done. When we are looking at quick campaigns, remember that one eliminates all the steps because you already filled everything out for them. So the only 2 fields they will be able to see is title and recipients, and then immediately schedule the campaign. 2-3 clicks and they are done. Moving forward, another very, very exciting feature that customers really love is seeing their results in interactive way presented as a dashboard. So for that, we introduced our dashboard builder, which allows you to build these interactive customized charts and put it in a very nice layout to present the campaign results to your end users. To do that, you might go under Distribution and Dashboard Builder. Once you create your dashboard, it's exactly the same way you give access to your customers. You go to My Team, you select the customer you want to enable it for, and it will be available under Customizations for Questionnaire. And here it will be a little drop down to give access to the dashboard for them. Then when they log in Distribution Portal and they go under Results tab, they will see extra button available that says Dashboard. And when they click that button, they will able to see a dashboard that you created for them. And the beautiful thing that here, immediately by default, they will only be able to see responses from their own contacts. So if you create a dashboard that is used in a certain questionnaire and you share that questionnaire with 15 different customers, it means that in Distribution Portal, that specific customer A will only be able to see their own contacts. So it's absolutely secure. And the same thing for the this interactive dashboard, they will only be able to see their own responses for the questionnaires that they shared. So you don't need to do any extra configurations here. That's been about setting everything up. I hope it gives you a nice understanding of the level of customization you can do with the distribution portal. Our main goal was to really empower you as admins to configure as much things as possible with distribution portal and give access for your customers and save more time for you and generate those extra revenue streams. Couple of very nice use cases where distribution portal might be useful is you want to distribute to more customers, you have different types of assessments, and you allow your peers or coaches to purchase the assessments that you have created and be able to distribute it to their own network. You can distribute it within a certain organization. So let's say it's a big corporation and you have several managers and you want to share some feedback or employee assessments. You can create managers as customers and give them access to share questionnaires with their own teams. And the next one is monetization with extra functionality and APIs. You can fully optimize and automate the way people can purchase questionnaires from your website, and then all the steps that I showed you, creating contacts, inviting them, sending them invitation, can also be automated. If you're curious about the last step, you can always reach out to our support team or to our account managers or even to me. And we will be able to give like a little demo for you where you can see how it will look for your flow. So for you, it's a lot of saving administration time, streamlining your processes, and of course, bringing that amazing value to your customers. And for your customers, it's easy access to their own data, their questionnaires, their results, visibility, and fully independent access to their works. So as you know, we have ACE of Pointerpro. So this part you're quite familiar with, ask, assess, and advise, where you have your questionnaire, your custom logic, and you generate PDF report for them. Now we also add additional for distribution portal, assign and attract, where you can automate the fully flow of distributing your questionnaires. I'm gonna now head to chats. And I see the last, I think the connection is breaking. Do you guys still hear me well? Could be the internet maybe at the office? Okay. Okay, good. I'm happy our connectivity issues remained in the beginning of the presentation, but once again, this will be recorded, so you can always rewatch if you missed certain things or you want to have another fresh look on it. If you have any questions, it is your time. Okay. Looks like I was very clear with all my detailed slides. If you have any follow-up questions after, you can always reach out to us or to me. You see my email address here, or you can always reach out to your account manager or to our support colleagues, and we will be very happy to assist you. If you want to know more about that web shop automation and integration, you can always reach out to us and we'll be able to provide you with more info. I think then I'll be finishing here. Thank you so much for being with me, for your supportive messages in the chats. I'm really happy that it was useful for you, and we'll see you in the next webinars.